Have you ever heard of parental alienation? It's not just about a kid being mad at a parent after a divorce. It's a deep, invisible psychological injury that can seriously harm a child's developing brain. Let's break down what it is, how it works, and why it's so much more than a simple family squabble. Parental alienation happens when one parent actively manipulates a child to fear, disrespect, or reject the other parent, even when that other parent is loving and capable. This isn't a simple case of taking sides. It puts the child in an impossible survival situation. They are forced to choose loyalty to one parent, often suppressing their own true feelings just to feel safe. This creates a state of fear-based compliance, fundamentally changing how the child sees the world, what they believe is true, and who they think they can trust. So, what does this do to a child's brain? A child's brain thrives on safety and secure attachment. It needs consistent love and support to grow properly. Parental alienation throws a wrench into this process by creating constant, unrelenting emotional stress. Imagine a smoke detector that never turns off. That's what it's like for a child's brain in this situation. It's flooded with stress hormones like cortisol, which, over time, can damage crucial parts of the brain. The hippocampus, responsible for memory and learning, can shrink. The prefrontal cortex, which helps with decision-making and emotional control, can be underdeveloped. This keeps the child stuck in a state of high alert, always anxious and fearful. Secure attachment is the foundation of a healthy childhood. It's built on the trust that caregivers are a reliable source of love and safety. Alienation shatters this foundation. One parent is systematically painted as unloving, unsafe, or unworthy. To survive emotionally, the child feels pressured to align with the alienating parent. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a deep, instinctual need to maintain a primary attachment, even if it means sacrificing another. In doing so, they not only reject a loving parent, but also a part of themselves. This is a profound loss that can echo for a lifetime. Think about how our brains learn. Repetition creates strong neural pathways. When a child hears negative messages about a parent over and over, their brain literally rewires itself. It starts to associate that targeted parent with fear and danger, regardless of their actual experiences. The child's own memories might be positive, but the constant negative input creates a new, distorted reality. Their internal compass for truth gets scrambled. They stop trusting their own feelings and perceptions. This confusion about what's real and who to trust often carries straight into adulthood, making it incredibly hard to form healthy relationships. This constant state of stress also wreaks havoc on a child's ability to manage their emotions. The brain's fear center, the amygdala, becomes overactive, while the parts of the brain that should be helping to calm it down can keep up. As a result, children might become chronically anxious or hypervigilant, always scanning for threats. Others might go the opposite way and become emotionally numb, shutting down to cope with the overwhelming pain. These patterns don't just disappear. They can lead to extreme reactions to stress later in life, impacting their behavior, their friendships, and their future romantic relationships. One of the most heartbreaking consequences of parental alienation is the damage to a child's sense of self. Children naturally see themselves as a combination of both their parents. When they are taught to hate one parent, they are essentially taught to hate half of themselves. This can lead to deep-seated feelings of shame, guilt, and worthlessness. They might struggle with their identity, constantly questioning who they are. This internal conflict can make it difficult to trust their own judgment or feel confident in their decisions, creating a shaky foundation for their entire life. The long-term effects don't just fade away as a child grows up. Adults who experience parental alienation often carry these wounds with them. They may find it incredibly difficult to trust others, leading to struggles with intimacy and a persistent fear of abandonment. Because their childhood was defined by unresolved emotional stress and psychological manipulation, they are at a much higher risk for developing anxiety, depression, and complex trauma responses. The invisible injuries from childhood become very visible struggles in adulthood. But here is the crucial message of hope. Our brains are incredible. They have a quality called neuroplasticity, which means they can heal and rewire themselves throughout our lives. It's not an easy journey, but healing is possible. The first step is creating a safe and stable environment. For individuals who have gone through this, supportive relationships with friends, family, or a partner who understands are vital. Professional help is also key. Therapies like trauma-informed care or attachment-based therapy can help a person rebuild that broken sense of trust, learn to regulate their emotions, and rediscover a healthy, whole sense of self. They can learn to trust their own feelings again and break free from the patterns of the past. So, let's be clear. Parental alienation is not a normal part of divorce or family conflict. It is a serious form of psychological injury with lasting consequences. Recognizing it early and intervening is critical to protect a child's developing brain and their future mental health. We need to shift the conversation from blaming the child to understanding the deep psychological dynamics at play. Protecting a child's emotional safety is just as important as protecting their physical safety. It's about protecting the child as a whole. Thank you so much for watching and taking the time to understand this important topic. If this video resonated with you or you know someone who might benefit from this information, please share it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on mental health and healing. Take care.